Let's get back to where I died, so we can resume this amazing quest. That is actually not amazing.
Alright, shout out to penguins. These bodies look like they're wearing little suits. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now.
It's a pretty good shout out. Can't top that right now.
Also, I want to go ahead and say even the smartest dinosaur was dumb as fuck.
Man, your guy is so ridiculous.
What are you talking about? He looks like me. No, we don't need to go that way. We need to go this way. No, we need to go that. Damn it all. I need to go this way.
Big bad battle Borgs. I know it's Beetleborgs.
Oh man, can we talk about animal transformations for a second?
Why?
Because they're bad.
Are you talking about transformations from animals to people or the other way around?
Either way. I was never a big Transformers fan. I did not enjoy Beast Wars.
Well, you can suck a dick, because Beast Wars was so cool when we were little. I don't like it anymore, but it was cool.
I wasn't a fan of Beast Wars, Beasties, as they say in Canada. Barbara sucks. She knows who she is. I also, even when, the thing that was pushing it for me was, the thing that pushed it for me was Power Rangers. When Power Rangers were all about animals, I was okay with it, but only because it was Power Rangers.
I'm not necessarily an advocate for, transformations into animals, but I will go on the record and say that werewolves kick all asses. Werewolves are the shit.
So you're
time. I'm not a furry. I never will be. I never have been.
Oh, no, I'm not saying furry. I'm saying Team Jacob.
What does that mean?
I know that these movies weren't super badass. I like them. Like Underworld. Like, those werewolves kicked all asses.
Underworld started well.
I liked,
Rise of the Lycans.
The second one? Is that what that one is?
No, I think the second one was, it was called Evolution.
Oh, yeah. I like that one alright.
No, Evolution, I said it started well. They started to lose me with Rise of the Lycans. They did another one after that, where she was in the future.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know they made a fourth one.
She was in the future, and she was, fighting against humans or something, and I did not enjoy that.
It sounds like it has a cool premise. I probably, if they had done it correctly, I'd probably enjoy it, but I haven't seen it.
So Underworld, you like?
Yeah. I saw it in theaters, the third one, and I thought it was okay.
What about Resident Evil? Did you ever like those movies?
No.
What about the games?
They're not bad necessarily, but they're not super good. Like the Resident Evil movies. Like if someone was just like, "Let's watch it," I wouldn't be like, "Fuck you, never." But as far as the games are concerned, I like the first few games. I especially like to watch people play them more than I definitely like to play them though. Like the puzzles are so awesome, and everything about the series seems to kick a lot of asses. But the new ones I'm not necessarily a big old fan of, but I guess it's because I just haven't really seen too much about them or anything like that. Okay, it's crazy. You see, he just took an explosion in the back and didn't even give a shit.
Seriously, as opposed to his friend who just lost his face. Now then, let's go ahead and just throw the turret. This turret is just gonna wreck. It doesn't even care. It doesn't need to care. It's too powerful. Look at this.
It needs to bear heavy loads.
Yes, it does. So after I get a couple more levels, the turret's going to be able to shoot rockets.
Oh, it's like Ratchet and Clank.
Seriously. By the way, another game we need to do a let's play.
I know. I fucking love that game series of games.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all good
because they stayed the same most of the time. Through the whole thing, the story just got cool.
That's definitely a game type that for me doesn't some games they need to evolve a little bit. Like Uncharted, those games needed to evolve slightly.
Ratchet and Clank was good, and so was Jak and Daxter. I happened to enjoy the first and second and third one, and I didn't enjoy the fifth one, the racing one. Or I'm sorry, that was the fourth one. But they made another one after that was supposed to have to do with the story of that girl becoming the next Green Sage or whatever the hell.
Right.
I thought that was interesting, but I didn't actually ever play it. I just thought the concept was neat. Eventually, I'll probably play it, but I need to get to the second Jak and Daxter again first. I'm replaying the whole series.
Do it.
Personally.
Those games are super good. A series that I kind of want to go back and replay, and it might be kind of difficult to do. I'd have to make some purchases through PSN. I would go back and play the old Crash Bandicoot games.
Man, I just couldn't get into them. Like, they always just pissed me off. Like, especially the levels where you had to run from something. Because there was
Yep.
always a level where you had to run from, like, a snowball or a rock or some shit. And I was like,
Those were definitely
fuck, the whole time.
those were definitely really frustrating. It's
Fucking
just that
cunt-ass boulder.
Yep, definitely. It's just that for me, like in terms of video game nostalgia, my top game is honestly, I know it by a different name than I think it went in the United States. I think in the UK it had a different name, because I knew it as Lilac Wars. Do you know what that is? In America they call it Star Fox,
Oh!
and
I
that
never
was
really cared much for that game, but, whatever.
that was one of the first games that I not only did I play it, but I played it and I was able to fully work with the game. It's not like when you're younger and you play games and it's just like you die all the time but you don't care. I was able to actually get through the game and do stuff. And I really liked those games. They made a game because those are all like those third-person-y shooters sort of games. They made a game for the GameCube called Star Fox Adventures. It was like a third-person. It was like a Legend of Zelda game.
I played that game, and there were so many glitches, it wasn't even possible to beat it.
That game kind of ruined me for Star Fox just because I hated it so much.
If they had like made the mechanics better, I probably would have hella enjoyed it. But I'm not super into like the furry shit either, so there's that, like that anthropomorphic things. But they made reference to Star Fox in that Majora's Mask game.
I didn't know that. What was the reference?
It was some of the masks.
Oh, I see. Oh gosh, I didn't see.
It was weird. But yeah,
Oh,
like
gosh.
I think that my most nostalgia, like my game that I have the most nostalgia playing, it would probably 1080 for the N64. It's like my most nostalgic game I could ever play
Ooh.
or hope to play. 1080 was so fucking awesome when I was a kid. I played a lot of Tony Hawk and shit like that too, but that was mostly because I had a lot of relatives that were like super into like skateboarding at the time, and they wouldn't let me not play it.
I wasn't even a big skateboarder fan. I know exactly what you're talking
Never
about.
fucking skateboarded. I used to fucking hate it, but like my cousins all loved the shit out of it, and whenever they wanted to play video games, I'd be like, okay. It was always Tony Hawk,
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
and we'd always put the cheats on. It was fucking cool.
Yep, flight mode was
Like,
super
not
good.
necessarily even flight mode, just like anti-gravity, so you can get like a crazy fucking score, like outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even be that high. But there were also, I think the Grand Theft Auto games, like the early ones, were like pretty nostalgic, I guess, for me to play as well. But it's usually like it's either PlayStation 1 or N64 stuff that gets me feeling a bit nostalgic. I never even had like a Sega Genesis or any of that shit. I'd probably be super like boned up for that, but I never had to experience it. And I really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid, but I didn't play it as it came out because I was too young to appreciate it. I had to get those all at once, so they don't necessarily inspire nostalgia. They just are fucking badass games that I'd play anytime.
I remember that going back to Grand Theft Auto, that was the first game I ever owned where
you could fuck hookers.
well, yeah. But it was also the first game I ever owned that I was too young to play it. That game was the first time I ever broke the rules of like a rating for anything. Whether it was like I never had parental advisory CDs when I was like young.
Is it because of your parents, or is it your personal?
No, it was because of my parents. I wanted to listen to a lot of that stuff, and I wanted to watch like Gladiator when I was 10, but I wasn't allowed to. But that game was the first time that I ever like broke that rule, and I was really happy about it just because a lot of my friends at the time had played games or watched stuff where it was like in the UK the movie rating system is different than in the US. It goes there's U for Universal, which is G, and then there's PG, and we don't have PG-13. We just have 12, 15, and 18.
Oh yeah, I think I learned something about that shit like when I was younger. It's weird.
Right.
It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it was cool, but all my friends had seen like stuff that were for like 12 or 15, and I was the kid that just had the game that was rated 18 where you could do anything. And it was just so awesome to me. I just loved playing that game so much.
There are some old things like if I played Ape Escape now, like no matter how bad it is, like I will feel like that nostalgic sense of I'm so glad I'm playing this. Like it's so horribly acted though. We'll be watching it and just want to die. But I don't know. For me, I play it and I really enjoy it. Like Because when I was younger, I super appreciated the story and everything about it. But I don't know, playing it recently, I was enjoying it, but I could see why everybody else would hate it now.
That's how I'm starting to get with oh my gosh, what was the name of that game?
Holmgerd, Curse Burps, and the Favorite Burks.
I can't remember the name of the game. I feel dumb. I'm starting to get that way with Final Fantasy now, actually.
Really?
Yeah, well, because
you're just like, man, this sucks, but I love it.
When I got the first Final Fantasy game, I had no idea what it was.
Did you actually get the first one?
No. The first one I ever played was Final Fantasy VI. And
Isn't that the one where you play as Vincent or whatever, like the guy with the claw?
No, you play as a woman. In that. That's all I remember. And the thing that I remember though was that it was different than any other game I'd ever played. I'd never played a game like Final Fantasy, and it kind of messed with me a little bit, just in the sense that I was so used to not having to grind in any game ever. And in Final Fantasy, you always have to start the grind immediately. Like, that's just the way they work. And it kind of broke my mind to the point where my mother thought there was something wrong with me